Lewis Hamilton has just secured his first ever sprint race victory and his inaugural win in Ferrari Red with a commanding lights-to-flag performance in China. However, just a week ago, Martin Brundle wasn't entirely convinced about Hamilton's new chapter with Ferrari. Following the Australian Grand Prix, Brundle described Hamilton's radio messages as tense, questioning his tone towards his engineer, Riccardo Adami, and wondering why the seven-time world champion appeared so short-tempered with his team. But here's the thing about doubting Hamilton. He has a habit of answering critics in the best way he knows, with results. Fast forward to Shanghai, and Hamilton didn't just win the sprint, he dominated it. From lights to flag, he was calm, clinical, and completely in control. While Verstappen and Piastri fought behind him, Hamilton was already in a league of his own, managing tires, lap times, and pressure with absolute ease. And when it came to the radio, a complete turnaround from Australia. Gone was the frustration and confusion. In its place was a smooth, sharp exchange with Adami, sounding like a duo that had been working together for years. Whatever Brundle had heard in Melbourne, that version of Hamilton was nowhere to be found in China. Not only did he silence the critics, he made their arguments irrelevant. When the visor goes down and the lights go out, Hamilton isn't here to debate. He's here to win races. But what changed? How did Hamilton go from frustrated in Ferrari Red to leading the grid with such authority? Simple. He did what he's always done. He adapted, locked in, and delivered. From the moment the lights went out in Shanghai, Hamilton was in full command. After securing pole with a record-breaking lap on Friday, he got a clean launch, fended off Verstappen into turn 1, and never looked back. For the first 10 laps, Verstappen kept within striking range, but Hamilton remained composed. He didn't push too hard, didn't burn up his tires. He waited. Then, like flipping a switch, he pulled away. By the time Oscar Piastri overtook Verstappen for second, Hamilton had already built a comfortable gap, managing the final few laps effortlessly. No tire drama, no late race defending, just pure dominance. He crossed the line 6.8 seconds ahead. This wasn't just a win, it was a statement. What makes this victory even more special? It wasn't just his first sprint win, it was his first victory in Ferrari colors. And the way he achieved it? Clean, dominant, and composed. No weather chaos, no lucky strategy calls, just raw speed and flawless execution. For those who questioned his form, his mood, or called him frustrated, Hamilton didn't need to argue. He just needed a weekend like this. But while Hamilton's win was a personal triumph, it also highlighted Ferrari's growing strength as a team. Nothing showcased that more than the team radio. Let's rewind to Melbourne. Hamilton's Ferrari debut wasn't messy because of his driving. It was the radio communications that were disjointed. His exchanges with Riccardo Adami were stiff, awkward, and sometimes even tense. Hamilton asked to be left alone mid-corner. Adami gave unclear instructions, and the world took notice. Martin Brundle even suggested Hamilton was struggling to adapt to Ferrari's way of doing things. A narrative formed. Hamilton was uncomfortable, perhaps even at odds with the team. But that theory didn't last long. Just a week later, the energy had completely shifted. After clinching pole for the sprint in Shanghai, Hamilton got on the radio and casually asked, "Where are we?" To which Adami simply responded, "Go." Hamilton laughed and replied with a cheerful, "Mega job." Apparently, San Diego is now Ferrari's code word for pole position. Strange? Yes. Effective? Absolutely. In that brief exchange, everything about their communication had changed. Confident, efficient, even fun. In Formula One, a radio call isn't just background noise. It's a reflection of the mindset inside the cockpit. And this time, it showed a driver and an engineer fully in sync. That's crucial because trust isn't built overnight. It comes from shared experiences, responding to setbacks together, understanding each other's rhythms and preferences. In Australia, that system was still in progress. In China, it clicked. Hamilton himself acknowledged the improvement, saying, "The engineers have done a great job. The mechanics have done a great job to really fine-tune the car. It felt great today. I got a good start. It felt great to come here and feel comfortable in the car because in Melbourne, I didn't." His tone spoke volumes. No hesitation, no uncertainty, just calm confidence. That's the voice of a driver who believes in his car, his team, and most importantly, the engineer guiding him through the race. What started as a rocky adjustment is now transforming into something Ferrari has long needed: leadership. And if anyone doubts how important this chemistry is, just ask those who watched Hamilton and Bono dominate the Mercedes era. That partnership won 6 world titles. Hamilton and Adami aren't there yet, but after San Diego, they're off to a solid start. I know the Tifosi, the fans, the team, they all want to win, and it means everything to them, Hamilton said. But as I said, Rome wasn't built in a day. One step at a time. We're not getting ahead of ourselves. We'll keep pushing, stay diligent, stay calm. Most importantly, stay calm. So the radio issues are sorted, the car feels better, and the team dynamic is clicking. But perhaps the most satisfying part for Hamilton was silencing the noise. After that dominant sprint win, Hamilton didn't just celebrate, he sent a message. Not just to the paddock, but to the pundits, the critics, the doubters. I really feel a lot of people underestimated the steep climb it takes to integrate into a new team, to learn their communication, their structure, everything, he said. Translation: everyone jumped the gun. One tough weekend in Australia, and suddenly Hamilton was too old, too frustrated, not a team player. But here's the reality. He's adjusting faster than anyone expected. The comeback isn't pending. It's happening. And it's loud. However, there's still a long way to go. While Hamilton's sprint win was electric, it's the main race that will truly define Ferrari's season. Let's set the stage. Hamilton starts the Chinese Grand Prix from P5. Right behind him in P6, Charles Leclerc. 2 Ferraris in the top 6, exactly where they need to be if they're serious about taking the fight to Red Bull, McLaren, and Mercedes. Unlike Australia, Ferrari isn't scrambling to recover from strategic missteps. This time, they enter race day with confidence and control. The SF25 is responsive, consistent, and, most importantly, predictable. For Ferrari fans, that's a relief. A car that doesn't randomly lose pace. A team that isn't gambling race strategy on gut feelings, and drivers who feel confident pushing to the limit. It's not perfect, but it's progress. And as Hamilton himself put it, from lap 1 here this weekend, I've been feeling on it. That statement carries weight. It signals trust in the car, the setup, and the team around him. He's not just adapting to Ferrari. He's starting to mold the team around his style, feedback, and vision. Ferrari still has work to do. The real prize isn't a sprint trophy, it's long-term success. But with Hamilton finding his rhythm, Leclerc providing consistency, and the car finally delivering, Ferrari is back in the conversation. Hamilton knew what he signed up for: a legendary team with unfinished business. After a rocky debut, the critics got loud, but he stayed calm. And when he got a car that listened, he showed exactly what he could do. Shanghai didn't decide the championship, but it did something just as important. It reminded the world that Lewis Hamilton isn't just